everyone. I am Allison. I am a trainer with Pragmatic Works. So welcome to our channel. I am also a Microsoft 365 Certified Teams Administrator Associate. That's a mouthful, but it just means that I know about Teams. This video is the first in a series that I'm going to put out that covers everything you need to know about using Microsoft Teams. So like and subscribe so you can be the first to see the new videos when they come out. Here at Pragmatic Works, we use Teams extensively, both for internal communication with employees that are all over the country, as well as with our amazing clients, so we can plan their training as well as deliver it to them as well. So we also have classes on Teams on our on-demand learning platform. So if you see this, you want to learn more immediately, you don't want to have to wait for more videos, you can go over to our on-demand learning platform, watch the whole class as quickly or slowly as you would like. And I'll have that linked in the description down below. So let's get into it. What is Microsoft Teams? Microsoft has created Teams to be an all-in-one collaboration and communication program. It allows you to set up chat, calls, meetings, all with your colleagues, in addition to having really great file sharing abilities. So why would you use Microsoft Teams versus another similar messaging platform? Well, we all know if we want to collaborate with our colleagues in real time versus having to wait on an email or them to call us back, Teams is really the answer because you can chat with multiple people all at the same time. You can have calls with them where you can do voice or video. You get to choose. And you can do all of this in the same place without having to open up multiple applications, multiple programs. In addition, I mentioned those file sharing abilities. Well, Teams integrates seamlessly across the Microsoft platform. So if you're also in your organization using SharePoint, OneDrive, Power BI, OneNote, Power Automate, the list goes on. Insert all of them here. You would love Teams because it seamlessly integrates across all of those, and you're able to use essentially parts of those programs and those files inside of Teams. It also allows you to be very organized and structured. So if you like some organization and structure like I do, Teams will bring you some joy because you're able to create teams for different groups and projects or products, whatever you're working on. It allows you to easily track communication and conversations inside of that team. And you can break it down even further by having channels inside of each team dedicated to even more specific aspects. You can save files in each of them, have aspects of all the different programs we mentioned before inside of each of those teams and channels, and it's awesome. So today I'm going to show you how to log into Teams, download the app, and then we're going to take a tour and go over each section. We're also going to get into your settings and talk about changing and modifying our notifications because we really want our notifications to work for us. There's no point in getting notifications that you don't need. Likewise, you also want to make sure you're getting notified when everything important goes on. So this will be a series, so if you have a Teams topic that you would love us to cover, please leave a comment below and we can integrate that into one of our next videos. I'll see you over in the browser. All right, here we are. And so I navigated here from the Microsoft website, but you can go directly to sign in at teams.microsoft.com. On this page, I can also decide if I want to download Teams, sign up for free if I need it. What we're going to do is sign in. And when I click sign in, it will prompt you to use your Microsoft 365 credentials. So what you're already using for Outlook and every other Microsoft program, you will be able to seamlessly sign in across that platform. Now you'll be able to pick any accounts that you already have saved or use a new account. And you'll enter any password that you need if you don't have that saved ready to go. Once you enter that password and click sign in, you can decide if you want to sign in, stay signed in, and then finally as it logs you in, it will prompt you to either use the web app or get the Windows app instead. I would highly suggest using the Windows app. There are more features on there that you do not have access to in the web version. I'm going to show you the web version first, and then we're going to switch over to the Windows app. So here we are in the website version. And in the website version, we have all of the same buttons. Again, there's some limited features here, but we have the same setup here where we have buttons up and down the left-hand side. We have our apps at the bottom, and then we have this extended menu that comes out from the left with some additional options on there, depending on which one we are in at the time. All right, now that we've kind of seen what is in the web version, I'm going to show you how you're able to download the app. So if you kind of clicked through, decided not to download the web or the computer app before, and you want to do that now, if you go click into the top, these 3 button ellipses, you're able to download the desktop app from here. You can also prompt a mobile app as well. We are just going to be concentrating on the desktop app for today. Now, in the desktop app, we have this same left-hand menu. Let's expand this, make this take our full size. And we are able to now see all of those same buttons on this left-hand menu. We're going to start right up at the very first one, kind of talk our way through each of these as we go on. And now this is a fun, fakey little environment that I have built out for today's video. That way, as we go through this series, we're going to be able to add things, change things, move them around, do all of the things to this whole Teams environment I've created. So first off, in activity, this is where you're going to see mentions, replies, and any other notifications. Anytime something happens in a channel or a team that you're associated with, if someone likes something that you commented in a chat, you would see that here. So all of those notifications, everything is going to show up in your activity feed. Your activity feed is normally the first one in this left menu. However, fun fact, you're able to pull these around. So you can move any of these in any order that you like. So one activity as their top one, great. Want it as your bottom one, you can move it there. The next one in your general order is going to be chat. And here are going to be all of the individual and group chats that you have. You're able to also pin these, and I'll talk more about that in a later video, but your regular chats are all going to be in chronological order with your newest chat appearing at the very top. So that way, if you haven't talked to someone in a few months, that chat is going to be all the way at the bottom. You're going to have to scroll for that one, but you are able to organize this and pull up anyone into a pinned section to keep them up at the top. So your boss, your favorite coworker, whoever you're communicating with a lot, you can put them in that pinned section. Also, another fun tidbit, you're able to alphabetize or put that pinned section into any order that you would like. The next one we have down is Teams. And now Teams is, of course, what we think of the most when we're in the Teams program, because it is kind of what it's named for. It's the collaboration aspect. And inside of Teams, you're going to have all of the teams that you have access to in your organization. Because, I say it that way, because you're able to put some teams on private. So if you have some confidential projects, or maybe something is some security clearance levels or permissions that some people shouldn't see, you're able to put those teams on private and then only invite the team members to that really should have access and are working on that. The goal with teams and channels is to always create fewer teams with more channels, because you don't want to be creating teams left and right and have every person need to be in 30 different teams. More likely, you will be able to create fewer teams with more channels inside of those teams. So that way, instead of having a separate teams for each separate one of these channels, I can then have channels for them instead. So all like items are linked together. And so we have teams are our larger category, and then channels are the smaller category, the more specific subject oriented things inside of each team. Let's go down to the next one, and that is calls. So you are able to make voice calls as well as video calls from inside of Teams. You can call up anyone in your organization just by typing up a name. And that's what's really handy with Teams, is that you don't need to remember any usernames or even phone numbers. You can just put in their actual full name to find anyone in your organization. You can also contact people outside of your organization as well. And you're able to do voice calls as well as video calls. It gets to be your choice. You're going to see all of the contacts, which are going to be everyone in your organization will be in here. You can see any voicemail history. You can decide to forward any calls to voicemail and do any custom setups that you need to do. Our next one down is calendar, because this links and loads with your regular Outlook calendar. And so it creates a nice environment where you're able to see, oh look, I have a Teams meeting. Let me click on that right inside of Teams to open that up without even having to go over to a different program and then bounce back and forth. Teams, as much as possible, tries to keep you inside of there so you only have one program and you don't need to access a lot of different places. The next one down we have is files. So you are able to upload a plethora of different file types in here, and these go into your OneDrive storage. So in this, you are able to share files across your organization. You're able to store them and really collaborate and work with others. You're able to upload all the different things that you need to, all different file types. We're going to talk about programs and apps that it works with in a minute. Our next one down, these three ellipses, these show some of the recent apps that you have looked at. And let's take a look a little bit more at apps, which is this second to bottom one over here. So in apps, we can see all of the apps that are from Microsoft. So we can see all of the ones that are created by them, as well as ones that are kind of by third parties that work well with Teams. So there's all different categories, all different things you can go into. I will say that some organizations do have some disabled. So if you don't have all of these options, that would be a settings on your Teams set by your organization. You can also decide, if you use any of these, what order they're going to be on the side. So let's say I want to bring over OneNote. Well, now let's say I'm always in OneNote. I want that at the top. I can drag and move that over. And so that way you can easily make the apps that you use on a regular basis be consistently in a certain location. So if I'm always using Power Automate, I can have that up there as well. You can see as they kind of start pushing things down, other ones will go into your recent. So files, which was one of my main ones before, now that I've added other apps, kind of pushed it down, it's going to go into this 3 button, the ellipses right here, that is going to be kind of that extra docking station for them. The very last icon I have at the bottom, this is actually just a quick link to download the mobile app. And I can click on that and it's going to get a QR code where I will be able to scan that or just click the link to download it with Apple or Google, depending on my device. Let's head over now and take a look at our settings. So your settings are kind of split between 2 buttons. So the ellipses, the 3 dots, as well as your little face icon right over here, or your initials if you don't have a picture uploaded. Let's take a look first at your icon and what's available here. You are able to set your status. So you can be available, busy, you can set it to do not disturb, put it be right back, appear away, or even appear offline. You're also able to set the duration of your status. I will note you can't set it to appear online for an extended period of time and then walk away from your computer, but you are able to set it to any of the others. You're also able to go into your account management from here. And then let's check out the ellipses button next to it for the rest of our settings. So on this one, I can have a few different options here where I can see my keyboard shortcuts. If you're a keyboard warrior, hate having to use your mouse, you want to see those keyboard shortcuts, they're all linked for you right here. You can also have another link to download the mobile app. They really want you to do that, and I would also suggest it as well. If you're using Teams a lot, you want to download the mobile app. It makes your life a lot easier. Let's go up to settings, which is our top option here now, and take a look around. So first off, in general, I can decide my theme. So our default is this light gray purple option, but let's take a look, set it to dark, and see how everything looks. Ooh, so a little bit different. Let's click back over, and I'm just going to click on my team so we can see how everything looks. So if you like a darker view for things, want to save your eyes a bit, you can decide to go and change it to this one. I'm going to go back up to the ellipses and click back into my settings, and let's look at the high contrast next. So high contrast is, like I said, high contrast. So plain darker background, kind of neon shades almost in here. It's a little bit retro, a little bit some fun 90s colors. So if you like it, you can modify it and change it back. Let's head back into settings now. I'm going to switch mine over to default again. And then our second option on the bottom of Teams is the chat density. So I can set this to comfy or to compact. And so the difference, we'll look over when we go to the chat at the difference for that. So if I'm on comfy, let me show you what that looks like in a chat. It is showing kind of similar to a text where it has some of what you're writing on the side and then what the other person is writing on the other side. When we switch this over to compact, it is going to move everything onto the same side. So it's compact, it just takes up less space. Also in our general settings, you can decide if you want the application to open in the background, some other decisions there. If you want to open new chats in the main window or have a new pop-up window come out, you can set your out of office in here as well in your general settings. The next thing I want to go down to is your notifications. And so in your notifications, you want to set these to help you. If you feel like you're constantly missing things that are happening in Teams, go into your settings and adjust that so you get more notifications. Potentially something might have gotten turned off, and that's why you're missing things that are happening. However, if you feel like you are living in Teams, you are already seeing everything as soon as it's happening, you probably don't need as many notifications on. And so you're able to go up into your settings and into notifications to decide how often you want to receive these. Maybe you only want to receive missed activities once a day. Maybe you want it as soon as possible, and you can also even just turn it off altogether. You can also decide how you want those notifications to appear. The regular Teams built-in, or would you like the Windows style instead? You can show previews and also decide if you want sounds on or off for any incoming calls or notifications. And then for your teams and channels, you can decide if you want all activity just for mentions and replies, or have some custom settings where you can decide where you would get those notifications, as well as the different kinds that you can turn off as well. You're also able to set these for individual channels as well, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. And here's the settings for chat, meetings and calls, people, and others. You can also take a look at your files settings. And so you can decide if you want to open Word, PowerPoint, and Excel files in Teams or in the browser. And finally, your call settings. So with your calls, you can decide if you want to forward them or ring right to you. And what it does, you can decide all of these settings from here. Let's head back over to privacy now. And in privacy, you're able to set whether you want do not disturb on. You can decide about blocked contacts. You can even decide your keyboard shortcut. So you're able to decide if you want to be able to hold control and your space bar to unmute during a call. Definitely pay attention if you have this on, so that way you're not accidentally unmuting in a call when you didn't even realize it. Back over in general, with your settings and with your notifications, take some time to go through there and make it work for you. Because if you're getting these notifications, spending the time looking at them, reading them, make sure that they're ones that you really want to see and that they're helping you out instead of wasting any time that you have. All right, I'm going to close this out, and then I want to show you really quickly how you can also go into individual channels to set your notifications from there. So I'm going to go back over to Teams on my left-hand side menu, and then let's just decide the notifications for, let's say, my Teams for Consumers channel that I created. So all I need to do is navigate to the channel that I want to make changes to. I can go to the ellipses, this 3-dot button next to it. When I click on that, I am able to go up to the channel notification section. I can decide all activity, I can turn it off, or go to custom. So maybe you're a part of a channel where there is a lot of activity, but it's not necessarily something that you really need to see or be a part of. You are able to go over here, turn that off unless someone directly replies or personally mentions you, and then you can just check it whenever you really need to, just to see what's going on. But I can easily turn that off or go to custom and make the modifications for Teams from here. All right, so here we can see our channel notification settings for just this channel. So I can decide if I want all new posts to be off, only show in feed, or banner end feed. And then with channel mentions, I can decide if someone mentions me in the channel, do I want that off, only show in feed, or get banner end feed as well. So you really get to control your settings. You get to decide how much you want to be contacted, how many notifications you want to receive. So get in there, clean up those settings, and make it work for you. All right, so that is our introduction to Teams. We have many more coming. Again, if there's a Teams topic that you want to know more about, you're curious about, it's not worked for you, definitely leave a comment below and we can kind of add those into one of our future Teams videos that we'll be doing. Thanks so much for viewing. If you found this helpful, definitely like, subscribe so you're able to see the new updates when they come out, and I look forward to seeing you soon.